The guys and girls at Freeze Tallman are probably pouring one out tonight for Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Music guy, big Nashville guy. When you think of Dolly Parton, Glenn, because Dolly Parton in the 80s, I was a youth. She was it. She was the female bombshell in country music.
Well, I got this shirt, which is a little bit tighter now than when I bought it. But I bought this shirt in Nashville, right on the same trip when I got to see Dolly at the Ryman Theater in Nashville, which has just amazing acoustics. So you can imagine her voice, in that building. But yeah, it's a major loss, Barney. I just, what I loved about her was her, and you guys have mentioned my three favorite songs, Coat of Many Colors, Jolene, and 9 to 5. And I think 9 to 5 might be my favorite because I love the movie. It was super entertaining and really funny. I think she kind of made the movie in a lot of ways, with her character and the way she played it. But 9 to 5 to me, and the way she sings it, it was kind of like her way of how she handled all of those people who criticized her or made fun of her look, or and she just would always lean into it. She didn't care what people thought. You didn't care if you were ridiculing her for some reason on something she wore on stage or whatever it was. She owned it, and it was her look, and it was great. And she walked into every situation, every interview, every onstage performance that I saw on TV or wherever with just great confidence, saying, "This is who I am, like it or not. And let's go. Let's sing, and you know how much money she put into charity and flood relief in Nashville. When they had that big flood and lost half of Broadway, Dolly stepped up. She put in millions. There was a huge donation to Vanderbilt University where Dolly put in a ton of money right at COVID to try and help with the finding of a vaccine and the development of a vaccine. She was big in that when it came to Vanderbilt University in Nashville. So, and all of the Dollywood and all of the charity events and things that she had done and raised money for. I mean, her thing was good old country music. I don't care what you think about my look. I am confident and I'm taking on the world. And every time I spend $1 on myself, I'm spending 10 on somebody else that is less fortunate.
She seemed like salt of the earth too.
Yes,
like just at night. Never met her. Never crossed paths in my days as a DJ or whatever the heck I was doing. But yeah, she seems so great. But my favorite Dolly song, said it, I'll go down forever. Hard Candy Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it tonight.
Well, I heard Coat of Many Colors on the way home today. So I heard that on the radio because everybody obviously is playing a ton of songs. But listen to the edge she has in 9 to 5. It's, you know what I mean? Like it's that great. I'm living my dream. I'm going after it. And I'm going to spread the wealth. Don't worry about that. But you can say whatever you want. I just loved how she would lean into it, and it's a huge loss for country music. And I know there's a lot of fans going to be tipping one for Dolly tonight.
I love talking music with our boy Glen Suitor, but let's get down to football here, and not a lot of edge Sunday for the Riders, especially that second half. BC, definitely the better football team. I haven't been sugarcoating it all day. Glenn, you got to call the game. Yeah, assess things, what you saw there.
Yeah, just they weren't the best team on the field. They were the second best team on the field. They didn't put enough points on the board. I think the loss of some their big play receivers, and Emelis comes back, yes, but Keon Schaefer-Baker is a big one. The explosion plays over the last 3 weeks have almost not disappeared, but they've dropped substantially. I mean, if you look 3 weeks ago and then total up their number of big plays down the field over 30 yards, most of them came before the last 3 weeks. They still can do it, but it just has kind of fallen off. And, I know you have talked earlier about the penalties. We don't have to belabor that, but just some terrible penalties and decisions at bad times, crucial times. It was more the timing than it was the total yards. When you take off major plays, like game-changing, momentum-shifting plays, like the one you're seeing on the stream right now, Connolly, that was being brought back by an illegal block. I mean, I don't know how many times we took a shot of Corey Mace that was looking at an official going, what? You got to be kidding me. Mm-hmm. That was a swing pass for a touchdown, and you're taking that back? I thought one late in I think it was third or fourth quarter, where there was an illegal block, and they were getting right down to the red zone. Didn't score on the play, but they were right in the red zone that could have closed the gap in a big way, and it was a really soft holding penalty. But other than those, or other than that particular penalty, the other ones were penalties. And there were a lack of discipline penalties in a lot of ways. Like Jackson Ford plays a seam route where Barry Hill makes an incredible catch with him hitting him at the same time, and then is so mad that he caught it, he gets a late hit penalty the next one. I mean, here's the Barry Hill throw. I mean, that's a good play from the safety. You got to, go for the ball, like hit the go through the receiver's hands. He sort of missed the target a bit, but he comes back on the very next play, and on a push route, he takes a bad penalty. And, I thought it was a little close to bang bang. Like it wasn't real late, but it was late enough that it put it in the hands of the officials. And once you do that, it could go either way, and it went against him. And that was an I'm pissed off penalty.
Yeah.
You can't have I'm pissed off penalties against good teams.
I was the emergency backup Sunday and had to do the call-in show for Tegan, who was under the weather, and it was great. And some really good callers with Justin Dunk and Wes Cates. And we all agreed, but Justin broke it down more because he's like you. He sees more tape. He watches more tape of all games and what teams are doing and tendencies, where they're going to, you're like a coach, right? You're going to pick things apart. He says teams are starting to pick on young Jackson Ford back there. I think there's nothing like simple as a quarterback brain. As soon as he turns his hips, right? You just want him to turn his hips a bit, and then you go. But how Rourke did it on the first Katoy touchdown, and comes back left side. Now, I don't know if Jackson's supposed to have help there or he's supposed to get there. But do you see teams maybe picking on young number 21 back there, Glenn, a bit?
I haven't really seen that specifically. I think he had a roller coaster of a game, a couple of missed tackles, things like that. Because what you just saw on the Katoy on the feed there, I'd have to check to see if that wasn't a cover two. In a cover two, Jackson would have half the field.
Exactly.
And there'd be a halfback on the other half or a corner, depending on how they rotated that. But, you're splitting the deep ball or the deep zones in half when you do that. And by the initial alignment of Jackson on that, he was outside the hash. So to me, it looked like he's playing half field there, not in the middle of the field. So, I think, first of all, it's hard to pick on a safety unless that safety is coming down in a cover zero because it's a halfback blitz and he's taking a man. It's pretty hard to actually pick on him. What you can do, though, and I'd have to go back and look at all the plays to see if quarterbacks are moving Jackson Ford with his eyes.
Their eyes.
Yeah, and not just eyes, but his throwing motion. It's that lead shoulder. It's hard to see from 30 yards away the quarterback's eyes. But what you can see is his throwing shoulder, his off shoulder. Where's his head, and quarterbacks that are veterans, when they're dropping back, they're giving you the false look. I can show you 100 plays where Trevor Harris shows you a false look when he's dropping back as he's just received the shotgun snap, and he's looking to his right hard, and then comes back to the seam.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
On the other side.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is Jackson Ford getting moved by that and undisciplined in that regard? Possibly, and I'd have to look.
Okay, no, I'm glad you cleared that up. We got a texter here. Got to get it to it because when a guy texts in a question to you, I want to get to it. Dale from Red Deer says, Glenn, why do players seem to be body checking to no effect instead of arm tackling like they were taught?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm sure it'll be one that's brought up in meetings when they watch the film to, lower your pad level. And listen, I know fans that remember when I played the same position, me missing a bunch of tackles too in my career. But sometimes you're flying across from the middle thinking, I'm gonna blow them up. I'm gonna make a big hit here. Like it's a split second. You're not, it's not a calculated thought. You come out of your back pedal, you're hustling to the seam route, and you just want to deliver. You just want to find a way to throw your body into this. But the question is a good one because it goes back again to the details and discipline. Tackle with your eyes, get your pad level down, bow your neck so you're not going to injure yourself or the other player, and then tackle through his hands and through the ball and then through the player. And that's just fundamentals. It's just fundamentals. And I'm sure they're going to go back to practice and they're going to go over those things because there's been a few of them. It's a good question.
Okay, I want to ask you, explain to people why you just can't move a great cornerback or someone that's really good at half to safety. Why it's not a video game and you just can't do that.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people and there's a lot of players in the secondary, a lot of DBs, especially in our game, that think they can play safety. They look at the Canadian kid and they go, you know what, I'm faster than that guy. I could play safety. This would be, and I would fly around and intercept passes. And believe me, I remember tons of them that thought, come on, I could play safety. Here's the breakdown. A corner is generally the all-around faster, probably a little more athletic individual. Like they're a player that is great in coverage, great in man-to-man, and the safety is often, I wasn't sort of this style, but there are many that are, and maybe Jackson is a little bit like this, that are looking to be heavy hitters. They want to make a statement in the middle. They have to be smart, and I don't mean to say that other DBs aren't, but in a lot of cases, other DBs aren't as smart as the safety. So, and the reason they need to be that much smarter is that they're making the checks. They're the quarterback of the defense in the back end. They have to make sure they know everybody's assignment so that every time a DB or a linebacker turns and looks at them and says, hey, what do I got on this defense? Because they forgot. You have to have the answer for them. That's what the safety does. And the safety sees the field for its entirety. So when you drop back in the middle, you can be attacked from both sides, whereas a corner has the sideline to help them. And even in our game with the wider field, the corner is always looking from outside in, and everything happens inside him, and he has the protection of the sideline behind him.
Yeah.
So even if there's a wheel route that goes down the sideline, that he will see that develop. The safety has to see the development of and the pattern reading of the entire field. So I remember Barney playing a beer league game, and I was the fourth line center on a 3-line team, but they put me on defense because we for some reason our defenseman didn't come back, and I was on defense, and I said to the guys after my first shift, I said, when you skate backwards and you're going past center and you're watching the play develop coming at you, that is exactly what the safety sees.
Yeah.
It's the exact same sort of look where guys are crossing and you're trying to move it to the outside and down the wing. And, you can see it all develop because it's pattern reading. I said, if I could skate backwards, this would be my position.
It's funny. I played like bantam or peewee hockey or whatever with a guy who was an unreal defenseman, and he was a great safety. And then I just said, if you could have a quarterback brain when you bring the puck up the ice and you're seeing everything like a quarterback does, then you would have a triple threat. But that's asking a lot. So yeah, great question there. Wanted to get that in as well for you, Glenn. Let's go to the other game.
Just to wrap up though, Barney, finish that thought. Just because they're a great athlete and can cover and play corner doesn't mean they can play safety. It's just not that simple, as you said off the top.
I think you got to have the IQ, right? Like, so a guy's got amazing foot speed and fast and quick, and he can cover anybody on a corner. Fantastic. He might not have the IQ to go and play where you're reading a number of different things. You got to know, hey, okay, I know this pattern comes here, then they run the wheel over top of it or whatever it is. Again, I just equated, it's not a Tecmo Bowl where you have the guy and you can, okay, I'm going to play safety with this guy, although he's a corner. It's not how it works. Or else, a lot of people would be playing professional football. I want to ask you, because we're running out of time here today, but I want to get to some of the other things. Sam Emilus, he was cleared to play. He's in there late. He takes some hits. Do you maybe pull him out there, Glenn? Although there's still a chance to win, but it's August.
Yeah, there's just barely a minute left. First of all, I made a point on the broadcast of talking about how gutsy that Sam Emilus was to sell out the way he did to go after that ball with a minute to go and down by 2 scores. I mean, but in our game, I've talked about this a lot when it comes to the quarterback position, that I think there's coaches that leave their star quarterbacks in there too long. And if you're going to take Sam out, then you should probably have taken Trevor out there too. But I would say, in fairness to the coaching staff, in fairness to Trevor and Sam, I bet you they thought they could still come back. And as long as you think, if we get a quick score here and there's a minute and 2 seconds left after the next play, if he makes that catch and then they go ahead and score after that, onside kick, and now you're looking at trying to tie the game. So if it was, I don't know. I understand why they were in there. Ideally, you don't like to see a guy get hurt when it's a game that's basically out of reach at a minute to go. But I've seen 3 scores in 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
I know, but the way the game was going and the momentum and how BC, they weren't, unless you got a couple onside kicks or an onside kick, they weren't giving that ball back. And no. Yeah, I know. Okay, we catch up again on Thursday, and we'll tee up things for this weekend. Go pour yourself a stiff one. Put on Dolly's greatest hits. And sit back and relax for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, any country channel will do it. Just put on any country channel, and they're playing Dolly all night. Sounds good.
Okay.
Take care,
talk to you Thursday.